Airport security is annoying. It's nothing compared to international travel, like going through customs and immigration. That's so intense. They're dressed like SWAT team members. I always get so nervous. I'm like, do I have heroin on me? I don't even know what heroin looks like, but I might have accidentally packed some. There's that mini interview with the customs agent. What do you plan to do in our country? Murder people. You got me. I wasn't ready for your trick questions. I always feel like an idiot when I travel internationally. Some of it is I don't know the metric system. It's not like I wasn't exposed to it. When I was growing up, they're like, learn the metric system. Everyone learn the metric system. Big switch coming up. And then 10 years later, they're like, never mind. It's too hard. It's based on tens. Let's go buy an SUV. So now I can't ask a distance when I visit another country. I'm like, how far is that? They're like, that's 500 kilometers. I'm not in the Olympics. This isn't a James Bond film. What's it in normal speak? But I get a kick out of what Europeans don't like about Americans. I was like, you Americans are dumb. You know nothing about Europe. It's not that we're dumb. We're just not that interested. Sorry, I don't want to learn more about your windmill country. He's gonna get a wooden shoe in his ass. First time I did that joke, the whole front row was Dutch people. And they didn't care, or they did. I don't know, they have no emotion, it doesn't matter. He's the most anti-Dutch comedian ever. My kids were with me. In Amsterdam, I brought my kids to the Anne Frank house. I told some friends that, and they're like, aren't your kids a little young for the Anne Frank house? And you know what I learned? They are. They're too young. But I wanted to bring them. You know, it's an important place. I want them to learn. So I brought them. We were standing outside the Anne Frank house, and I said, this is a special, somber place. This is where Anne Frank, her family, and some friends hid from the Nazis for 2 years, and they couldn't speak during the day. And Anne also wrote this diary, so let's be respectful. My 6-year-old raised his hand, and he goes, do they have video games here? And I said, I'm going to need you to be quiet for the rest of your life. Bought tickets online to the Anne Frank house. I Googled it. The Anne Frank house has a Google rating of 4.4 out of 5 stars. Who's giving the Anne Frank house a bad review? It's like, yeah, wasn't that fun? It's kind of crowded, and there were no video games. Why do we feel the need to review everything? Nobody's going to Anne Frank's house looking for hot dogs. I misread it. I thought it was Anne Frank's house. I was getting ready to have me an Amsterdam dog. Often the museums are art museums, and those are the most intimidating, right? Because in art museums, they tell us what is the good art. We have no say in the matter. They're like, that's good art. Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it. They treat everyone like a child at an art museum. They're like, don't touch anything. Nobody touch anything. I wasn't gonna. Now I kind of want to. Everyone's speaking in hushed tones. Be respectful. We're about to look at the work of a madman. He painted this after he chopped off his own ear. Why are we whispering? Van Gogh's dead. Even if he was alive, he couldn't hear us. Recently after a show, someone came up to me, they're like, you know, it's not pronounced Van Gogh, it's pronounced Billy Joel. I do find it hard to leave art museums, mainly because I can't find the exit. Great, another room filled with paintings of ugly Dutch people. In the 1600s, they painted every ugly Dutch person. Hey, you're hard to look at. Can I do your portrait? Making that hay look good, aren't you? I drank the bottled water. I feel silly buying it, though. Maybe I'm just too Midwestern, you know? It's like, whenever I go in a store, I'm always like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I know I can get water free from any faucet, but I want to pay for it. I'm just curious, do you have any air back there? Or can I buy your garbage?
When you think about it, it is water, right? How did we get to the point where we're paying for bottled water? That must have been some weird marketing meeting over in France, you know? Some French guy was sitting there, he's like, how dumb do I think the Americans are? I bet you we could sell those idiots water. Someone was like, Pierre, the Americans are pretty dumb, but they're not gonna buy water. Oh, yes, they are. Let's just tell the Americans the water's from France. We bought it. I don't know if you're like me, when they first introduced bottled water, I thought it was so funny. I was like, bottled water? Look at this, they're selling bottled water. I guess I'll try it. Oh, this is good. This is more watery than water. Yeah. This has got a water kick to it. I was looking at a bottle. They have nutritional facts printed on the side. You know, I'm no chemist, but I have a rough idea what's in water. Kind of expect to turn the bottle, see a recipe. You know? That's how you make ice cubes, huh?
France, I ate so much cheese, so much delicious French cheese, and I feel like I'm still digesting it. My delicate American body couldn't handle the French cheese. And it's not like I don't eat cheese. Most of you are looking at me like, we think you eat cheese. We think you might only eat cheese. But the French, they eat cheese on a whole other level. In France, they make eating cheese an official course of the meal. So you'll eat an appetizer, then you'll eat an entree, then for no reason at all, you eat a bunch of chunks of cheese. Then you eat dessert. After that, you go to the hospital. And of course, I've eaten chunks of cheese before, just not in public. Or with pants on. Eating chunks of cheese, that's something I'm usually caught doing. My wife's like, what the hell are you doing? Nothing, honey. Hey. I remember the first time I had the cheese course, I'd eaten an appetizer, I'd eaten my entree, and I started eating the cheese course, and I heard my heart say, are you mad at me? Did I do something to anger you? My brain took over. It's all right, there's gonna be some sweating. Bowels, you can take a couple weeks off. Appendix, get ready to blow. Tried so many delicious French cheeses, and I couldn't tell you the name of one of them. And they would tell me the names. They're like, this is Jean Jean Jean. From the Jean 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 region. And I'd be like, so not cheddar? Because I tried cheddar. You guys get cheddar over here yet? I like me some cheddar. Some of the French cheeses I tried were goat cheese, or as the goats call it, cheese. They're not caught up in your cow cheese bias. You know, when I see cheese, I don't even see an animal. I just see something my body can't process. I like goat cheese. I'd never looked at a goat and thought, I bet that would make good cheese. How do we even get to the point of goat cheese? With someone like, this cow cheese is good, but see that dog that looks like it smokes meth? Can someone try and milk it? I got a hunch it would make cheese that would go great with beets. Those Europeans, they have a different approach to dairy. When they make a sandwich in Europe, they put butter on the bread. They put butter on the bread and then mayonnaise. Ugh. That's like putting on contacts and glasses. Butter on the bread of a sandwich, that actually sounds like something Americans would do that Europeans would criticize us for. Those American pigs, when they make a sandwich, they put butter on the bread. No wonder they fat pig. That's a good impression of absolutely every European.
Would have been hard to get Jesus a present back then, because wherever you got him as a present back then, he must have been, oh, pair of socks, thanks. Yeah, you know, dying for your sins, right? Yeah, but thanks for the socks. Yeah, they'll go great with my sandals. What am I, German? I am offended on so many different levels.
Kitchener, I had schnitzel. Kitchener, or as I refer to it, Berlin. Because Kitchener is very German, right? Any Germans here? Yeah? That's about the extent of German pride. It helps that we're in the dark. I don't want to lose my job. That's worldwide. I was in Vienna, Austria, and they were like insistent that they were not German. We're not German. We're not German. We're totally different. I mean, we speak German, and our our culture's German, but and in every war we fought with Germany, but we're not German. I almost believe you.
Actually, the reason I look like this is because my father was from Sweden and my mother was Elton John. He was a very good mommy.
Some cultures, they eat fish for breakfast. Good morning, here's some fish. It matches your breath. I'm not even hungry in the morning, granted, because I ate a couple hours earlier. But fish? I was in Iceland, went down to breakfast. At the beginning of the buffet, there was a bottle of fish oil and 12 shot glasses. They're drinking fish for breakfast. I don't know when you're supposed to drink fish, but maybe not when you wake up. Do you want the orange juice, the grapefruit juice, or the fish juice? The best news that ever happened to grapefruit juice. Finally, I'm not the worst thing on the planet. The best is when you're visiting a country and someone thinks you're a native. I was waiting for a cab in Stockholm, and this Swedish lady turned to me and she was like, Bjorn Borg, Bjorn Borg. That's not what she said, that's what I heard. But I knew in that moment that once this lady found out I was American, she was gonna be disappointed. So I just decided that I was not gonna speak any language she spoke. She was like, Bjorn Borg, Bjorn Borg. And I was like, ah, 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 ah. She was like, tu parlez-vous français? And I was like, ah, 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 ah. She was like, do you speak English? And I was like, that woman is now my wife. It's just like The Notebook. Massages, that's how some people relax. Some people relax in a hot sauna. And sure, who doesn't love recreating the feeling of being trapped inside an active volcano? I don't understand the appeal of a sauna. Here's every experience I've had in a sauna. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a sweat going. It's gonna be really good for me. Here we go. It's time to get out, right? I don't want to overdo it. What is so relaxing about sitting in a hot box next to a pile of smoldering rocks? I always look at the rocks like, whoever's cooking the rocks, they're done. That's a wrap on the rock cooking. And to make this sauna more enjoyable, you're always seated next to a naked 80-year-old man. Oh, good, I get to sweat next to someone's grandpa who's only wearing a hand towel. The nudity in the sauna seems unnecessary. This isn't Rome. I just look around the sauna like, wow, so this is why we wear clothes, huh? So we may eventually eat. In Finland, where they invented the sauna, they relax in Finland by drinking vodka in the sauna, which might explain why we've never read any Finnish literature. Vodka in the sauna. Actually, the Finns, they pronounce it sauna, because they're wasted. I go to the sauna and drink some vodka. Drinking vodka in a sauna? You know what kind of ideas you come up with? An M&M store. Finland, I was invited to take a sauna. I was also invited to go cross-country skiing, and all I could think is fun illegal here? What kind of antidepressant do you have to be on to enjoy cross-country skiing? I can't believe cross-country skiing's even a sport. Hey, you know that awkward part in downhill skiing where you're trying to get over to the lift? What if we just did that? Woo! This is fun. And to turn around, You know what? Don't turn around. Let's go across the country. People who enjoy winter seem mentally unstable. Right? Some of those winter activities should get you committed. It's like, look, we love you, we're just worried. I mean, yesterday we caught you walking through the woods with tennis rackets tied to your feet. This morning we saw you sweeping the frozen lake. What's next? You sitting in a sled being pulled by dogs? Get some help. I'm Irish, but I have blonde hair. Supposedly the only reason the Irish have blonde or red hair is because the Vikings invaded, pillaged, and probably other stuff. Those Vikings, the Scandinavians, I don't know if you've been to Sweden, it's like a whole country of Scarlett Johanssons. If I was in Ireland at that time, I would have been, oh no, some Viking lady's coming to pillage me. I guess I'll hide on this bed covered in rose petals. Hopefully she can help me put together that table. In Stockholm, I brought my kids to a ship museum, the Vasa Museum. It was a ship museum, but it only had one ship, so it felt more like a ship garage. But that one ship, the Vasa ship, sunk on its maiden voyage in Stockholm's harbor in the 1700s, which is not good. But that's the largest attraction in Sweden. Most countries, their big attraction is a design marvel, like the Sydney Opera House or the Eiffel Tower. But Sweden was like, here's our boat that didn't float. This is why we make furniture that ironically floats. When I was in Europe, I tried all the local specialties, you know. Norway, I tried reindeer meat. I was in a Norwegian butcher shop in January, and they had a sale on reindeer meat, and nothing says Christmas season is over. Quite like a sale on reindeer meat. It's gotta be a tough day for Santa. It's like, I wanna thank all you reindeer who helped this Christmas. Great job. Now, when I call your name, come with me into the smokehouse.
Hi, thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you want. If you want to see more stand-up, I have more stand-up, or if you want to see an original show like Let's Get Cooking or The Mike and Pat Show, that's available on my channel. But also, just know that I'll be posting a new video every day during this pandemic or until the world ends. Please hit subscribe and turn on your alert or notification button.